And so,
well, and just looking at it, this is the tribesmen.
Yeah, can you go back up? Just that, because we need to see the mark of the language, a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
A team,
right?
Extension, cavalry,
right?
A rider,
right?
The upper millstone. This is tied to.
This is what you were talking about, the millstone, even potentially the one that's over the pit.
It's over the pit on the outward, because if what is out is within. So there's an outward concept and construct being spoken, but it's still an inward manifestation. This is the millstone that's keeping you from the full expression of light. And this is directly connected to what we're going to go into on the next level of teaching about the amygdala, the hippocampus, and what's going to transfer into the essence of light. So that's the upper millstone, and it's directly connected to the Merkabah and the chariot. And remember, we're still talking about Halal and Lucifer.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so here we've got the tribesmen.
Yeah.
The tribesmen, the two living water teachings of the tribesmen that have filled them up. And how interesting it is, gather the chariots, gather the horsemen.
They're going to clatter in the streets in love.
And this is Rosh. This has to do with the head.
Head and the mouth.
And par, fruit.
Yeah, mouth, fruit. This is a sword. These ones will be speaking. If that pay is there in this, these ones will be speaking as a two-edged sword, because there's again, like everything will be revealed. That cannot be there unless we know that these ones will have a sharp tongue.
Exactly. Right. And they've gathered and assembled together.
Yep. To mount.
And what are they doing? They're gathering to the waters of Shalom, not the chaotic waters, the waters that are set above.
They are.
They are the waters.
They are the waters of peace. They
are
the double measure of Shalom. They are the peaceful waters.
That's right.
That's why they're there.
The chariots in between the two. So this is the Gam, the gathering of mother, and the gathering of father.
Yes.
The chariots in the middle.
Yes.
Who have raised themselves up.
Yeah.
Who grasped a hold and tamed themselves by the language and built love.
Built love. And that's that. You remember that's a bet 22. So it's 222.
So 222.
So that is a head of love. That's the capstone.
Yep.
Okay. So they will be dispatched. There will be riders.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
There will be the horsemen, and then they jostle one another. Remember, this is a crazy little verse here, and that's why I want to put it in here. But no, because we can tie in sackcloth. And so now these are the riders that jostle, but really they'll be running to and fro, right?
Something got. Yesh tech.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. No. That's yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. That is really whoa.
So
okay. So if the root is sheen kuf kuf.
Sheen kuf kuf.
We went from sheen tov kuf sheen kuf.
Right.
I have never seen this. Is this a one occurrence?
You can go into it. Or I can.
Because it sure seems like to me that this right here, I mean, the sheen kaf kaf may not be, but this formation of that word.
There's only one formation of this word. There's not another one like this one. This is a huge
moly.
Word.
And kun.
Yeah.
To be set up.
Right.
So the tav has been put on the inside. So again, we have the 13th chakra activated, which is love.
Right.
Ahava. This is like the totality of the Merkabah language.
Right.
Right. And they also have the fire within.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the kuf sheen kuf.
Yeah.
So the two compressings of light, which engage the fire within.
Yeah.
Which then ignites the heart, the 13th chakra.
Yeah.
As one who is standing.
Yeah, this is
a standing
This is a standing one. But
while they're in their flesh.
But because they're in the earth again. Like these ones have come back. You gotta remember, we can't lose sight of the verse.
Right.
So
because they ascended.
Don't look at it. Look
as it.
Right? Because we had to establish this. This is how fast we change out of perspective. And we got to remember this. If we continue with the perspective as it, then we continually look as it, right? And then we become it. And so we're not distancing from it. These ones are completely established. So, of course, their frequency has morphed the language into a construct that goes beyond the dimension of the parentheses of our time.
Right.
Why? Because they come from an outer dimension, because they've ascended.
Exactly. And then look at this. The very first two letters. Ish. That means a being to exist of substance. These are not hollow individuals.
No. Well, Ish is just another word for light, right? It's just fire, but it's in the lesser. Outside of this dimension, plasma light is plasma light. Inside this dimension, the construct for light is used in the word as fire. It's a lesser dimensional construct, right?
Yeah.
But And so,
these are beings of substance.
Right, absolutely.
They're not hollow.
No, impossible. It's These are completely Kal-El, filled and full.
Right.
Mal, right?
Right.
These are completely filled up ones. And this is why the sackcloth is attached to this, because they are so consumed that they're so consumed in black that they are brilliantly bright.
Right.
Oxymoron. The whole language, when you start moving into the morphology of Father's higher dimensional language, it's all contradiction.
Right. Well, because it's the system of duality, because it's all one.
But it's completed duality.
Exactly.
So contradiction points to itself. And in the essence of contradiction touching a contradiction, you have 0 point.
0 point, and it renders itself
That's the definition of true contradiction, is where it touches itself, is really the space of nothingness, and that's 0 point. That's true contradiction of essence of truth.
And that's when we've tapped into 0 point energy, which is sustainable.
Right. I am because I'm not. It's never
ending.
Right.
Yeah, I am because I'm not.
Right. It's an oxymoron.
So again, that goes back to the 369 of the Ayin.
Yeah.
That Enoch was.
Not.
Exactly.
Because he was everything.
Exactly.
All right. So
I totally comprehend that. I hope people can follow that, because I totally get what you're saying, and it's like so exciting.
It's so exciting. Okay, so now we're on this place, right? So sackcloth.
So this is the same word for chariot?
That's the same word for chariot. Yeah.
Oh, and it's bolt.
Yeah.
Bet Vav Tav has been added.
Yeah, and now this speaks a lot of personal, because this is actually the expanse of you. This is the expanse. Of course, everything is looking as it, and this I don't want to stop saying that. Sorry if it gets a little tiresome, but this is your heart, and I've seen this many times. The Spirit's showing me this, that we're building ourselves to the twin lameds. Right? And then in the center of yourself is your heart, and this is where the expanse is. The expanse is within you. Exactly. That's why the deep that we're looking at in Revelation, the dragon out of the deep, is not a dragon. It's only a frequency language that makes it look very far away, that we can look at it. But if we look as it, out of the deep, you find yourself. Out of the deep wells of the resources of yourself comes the essence of true light.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a light dragon, but again, we're going to break that down to the frequency of what it is. Not here in the next teachings, but so
right here we have the bar again.
Rendered clear.
Yep. Chosen, selected.
Yep.
Innocence and pure.
Yep.
Purity.
Separating out, completely separated.
Because they found life.
Yep. They
found from being dead.
Black and white, life and death, the journey of duality. Yep.
And they have built.
Bet Tov, so they built love.
And there is the Bet Tov, but now it's connected.
Yep.
So the Bet and the Tov are connected. One who has built.
One who has built completed love.
Yep.
So by definition too, in Hebrew, that's also a daughter, which extrapolates out as a measure, which I will also be bold enough to tell you, it's also the owl of Lilith. Because if you're the day, then you are the night.
Exactly.
And so we're going to reveal a little deeper on Lilith, but because Lilith is actually Hallel backwards. It's the same spelling, but we're going to go into that a little bit further on. But because in this spot, because these ones are completed.
That's Lila. Right,
Lila.
Exactly. Hallel and Lila. They're the same.
They're the same word.
They're the same being.
Same frequency.
So in other words, it would be like the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Right?
They point to one another as an oxymoron. It says, because of you, I am. Mother and father, because of the separation, we've already said this, that mother points to father. And if someone's to say, well, how'd you get here? Because of him. And they're going to ask him, how'd you get here? Because of her. Right? But they're both saying it in the complete innocence of love, going like, without you, I am nothing. Right? But with everything about you, I am.
Exactly.
Right?
I am one.
And they're both saying it exactly at the same time, in the exact same frequency, the exact same way. And they point to one another, and where they touch is 0 point.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Wow.
So that's how we make a Merkabah, by loving mother and father, because mother and father is within you, because I'm not looking at it, I'm looking as it.
Right. So we're now in the place of the revealing to reveal that.
You are height and breadth, width and depth. You are a Merkabah. You are completely built in the frequency of love. Chariot. Because of the cornerstone, the headstone is placed.
Exactly.
By separating out what is and what is not in the circle of time, in the parentheses of beginning and end, you have completed and built love, connecting the earth below from that which is above. And guess what? It's all within you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So having said that, this right here is building the broad road for other people to follow afterwards.
Of course they are. They're road builders.
Exactly.
They are bridge builders.
Exactly.
Yes.
To build an avenue for people to be able to cross on. Right
now.
Build.
Yeah.
Build love.
Build love.
Build it.
Right now.
Build the highway so they can come.
For goodness sakes, the floor has already been constructed. Go for the rafters, right? It's like at some point we've got to throw a roof on this thing.
Right.
But right now, there's those that are being tested in the earth to see, here's the material. Build it. In the lesser reality.
Like, what are you going to do with it?
Right. And as soon as you do it and the tipping point happens, like, well done, I can now trust you with a greater measure.
So in other words, what we can say is that we are building this bridge within the consciousness.
Yes. Yes. We're changing a reality inside of a reality, and the lesser must give way to the greater.
Yep.
Okay.
So that they can see.
And I don't say that in arrogance. I say that by celestial law.
Of course you do.
In the frequency of the innocence of my heart, I release and enact the celestial law of divine exchange, and the lesser must give way to that of the greater. Yeah. And I say that in the most innocent frequency, because I see the power in this. And I'm like, wow.
Well, there would be no way for you to wield this sword with having any ounce of pride.
No, you can't. It just, it totally...
It renders it neutralizes it.
It renders it void.
Yes, it does.
So let's look at the next word.
I know, to see.
Right. So now you have sight as an appearance, but also really as, wow, it's like, this is a sight. Right? It's sight, but it's also, wow, a sight to see.
Right. Well, and when you add in, you take a look and see what's been added. The power, the vision has been placed within.
Right.
And then hen is a liquid measurement, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
And then we have the bitterness,
and
mar.
Right. So through the bitter measure,
right, the bitter
vision.
measure.
You found the vision of one, which is the power revealing the revelation or the revelational breath while in the earth. And
right, because that's the inhale and the exhale.
Right.
Inhale, vision.
Right.
Exhale to the flesh.
Right.
So that you can see.
And the exhalation is always in the revelation that reveals, right? Because the inhalation.
Oh my God. Look. It's Ein. It's the 369 that has hay on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the nothing. Right. It's the not place that the revelation, the Aleph Yod Nun, it's the revelation of the 369 within you.
Right. Well, and it should be, because remember.
Oh my God.
Because there'd be no more. So any word that we see in here that's morphology, and again, and there's things that we leave. There's been.
We leave a lot on the table.
We leave a lot on the table. Because,
and then there's other people on our channel that pick up those pieces.
Right.
And I'm really grateful for the additions.
but otherwise our teachings go way too long. But it has to be not in this language as well. Wow. So it's only expressing it. Again, it never stops to cease to amaze me. But it has to be here because these ones already have gone up, and so they already are not, and they're coming back down.
But this is because it changes their perspective.
Right.
Because they've become nothing, which means the ego is totally out of the way.
Yeah.
Because the ego skews the vision.
And we need to be like, well, I think I've already brought that forward. I think it's coming up about why we're saying the not of nothing. I don't mean to confuse anyone. So just to clarify that the 369 is where Enoch was, and then he was not. And that word not is Strong's 369, and it's got the new on the back end of it, morphed. And it's just like, wow, it's a morphology that he was and then he was not. And then it's like, that's where he was completely gone. And so there's a frequency there that he was lifted. So that's what we mean by that when we say that he was not. The 369, the Ayin.
By lifting ourselves in our consciousness, we access the ability to go into higher dimensions.
Right.
And the higher dimensions are more of a light frequency that are outside of our limited frequency in the light spectrum, where we only see like the rainbow color.
Right.
There's so much outside of our limited perspective.
Right.
And so that's what we're connecting to.
Absolutely.